This is Alyssa again, and today let's talk about a sentence pattern that is very useful in either your conversation or essay. Okay, a sentence pattern today is we start by saying it, a dummy subject. It is said, reported, or believed, and we put that clause in the end of a sentence. Okay, this sentence pattern is used to report ideas that other people think, other people believe, or other people report. So it's not about your personal belief or ideas. It's actually the ideas that other people or many people think. Okay, so let's talk a bit about the grammar rule here. Well, like I said, the it in the beginning of a sentence is a dummy subject. And what does dummy subject mean? It means that the subject doesn't carry lexical meaning. It's only just merely for grammatical function. While that clause, let me mark it for you. That clause is actually the real subject. So if we ignore it and only focusing on that clause, then you can say that something or event or a statement that is described in that clause is said, is reported, is believed. So the real subject is that clause. Okay, let's just look at some examples so you can better understand this sentence pattern. Okay, the first example number 1, it is said that doing housework reduces stress. Okay, it is said that means many people say that. It's not I say, it's that many people say that doing housework reduces stress, because we're living in Taiwan, and you know that Taiwan is now having a level 3 lockdown. So we cannot go anywhere, we can only stay home. And you know, the very good way people say is to do some housework, like mopping the floor, cleaning your house, and doing this housework can actually reduce stress, reduce your pressure. Okay, so it is said that doing housework reduces stress. Okay, the second example, it is reported that 2 men survived the earthquake. So it's quite obvious in sentence example 2 that we use this sentence pattern often in news article, because reporters might report something and we say that it is reported maybe on news or on TV that 2 men survived the earthquake. So it is reported that 2 men survived the earthquake. Okay, sentence example number 3. It is believed that dolphins are smaller than dogs. Okay, so it is believed, maybe, you know, by scientists or some animal expert that dolphins are actually smaller than dogs. So we report what people think. It is believed, that clause, that dolphins are smaller than dogs. Okay, the other way to say exactly the same thing is to put subjects in the beginning of a sentence and say that subject be said, reported, or believed to infinitive. Okay, here, please notice the subject here is actually the subject within that clause. So for example, the original sentence, we have the example 1. It is said that doing housework reduces stress. And here, let me mark that clause for you, that doing housework reduces stress. And here, the subject inside that clause is doing housework, right? So we put doing housework in the beginning of a sentence and say that doing housework is said to reduce stress. Okay, the second example, it is reported that 2 men survived the earthquake. So again, we mark that clause and we find out the subject inside that clause, which is 2 men. So we put 2 men in the beginning of a sentence. So it would be 2 men, and because that event occurred in the past, so we use past tense be verb were, right? 2 men were reported to have survived the earthquake. Notice too that in the original sentence we have the past tense survive. It's a past tense. But now we have to change it into to infinitive. So the only way to describe a past tense verb in infinitive is to make it into present perfect. Have plus past participle. So it has to be to have survived, okay? So 2 men were reported to have survived the earthquake. The third example, it is believed that dolphins are smarter than dogs. Okay, that clause, we have dolphins as a subject of that clause. So we put dolphins in the beginning. Dolphins, plural noun. So plural be verb are. Dolphins are believed, okay, to be smarter than dogs. We have the plural be verb are in the original sentence. To make it into infinitive, we change are into basic verb form, be. So it becomes to be. Dolphins are believed to be smarter than dogs. Okay, there are other words you can also use in this sentence pattern, like show, indicate, expect, suggest, rumor, estimate, and etc. Okay, let's look at some questions. Here, these are the practice for you. Question number 1, that exercising every day can help boost one's blood circulation. Okay, we have the keyword that here. So that clause, right? This is a clause. So we have that clause, which means based on the rule we just went through, it has to be it is, reported, said, believe, that clause, right? So candidate A, there has been indicated. Candidate B, where has been indicated. Okay. Candidate C, it has been indicated. Okay, so based on the grammar rule, we have it in the beginning. So the answer would be, the answer would be C. It has been indicated, that clause. Okay, question number 2. Kathy is said to a famous movie star 20 years ago. Again, the keyword here is 20 years ago. So the entire thing happened in the past. We like to use a past tense verb, but here we only have infinitive. How to use infinitive to describe a past tense verb? Like I said before, the answer is present perfect. So the answer is B. Kathy is said to have been a famous movie star 20 years ago. Okay, that's today's video. I hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, please write it down in the comments.